young and stupid. We'll get them while their eyes are bright. They're just another mind to be molded. There's nothing like the callow pride. But when all you thought was golden is wrapped in a tinfoil chest, in other words you thought were holy, were nothing but a catalyst. Whoa. We're running out of time. We're running out of time. So tell me where you wanna go, and tell me what you wanna do. Would you pray, or would you war? Burn the fate no one can ignore. Let's keep it bright. The savages will never know what it's truly like to be alive. War is all we know. Let's keep it bright. The savages will never know what it's truly like to be alive.
That's awesome. Welcome to Keep Mania Live. That was Ghostly Times, which is going to be the guest on Monday. I believe at 8 p.m. I think is what we're doing for that one. Where are they from? I can't remember. Did I say that before we went live? I think Brooklyn?
Cleveland? Brooklyn?
Cleveland's tomorrow. Cleveland is Soleo or Solio. I don't know. How, I'll decide. I'll know tomorrow. I'll have them coach me on that word before we get live.
Right.
Inthewhale is tonight though, and it's kind of weird, I guess, how I came to know you or was introduced to you, I guess. I was in Pittsburgh. Wasn't last week? I think it was the week before. It was on a Wednesday, and I went up to Pittsburgh to the Hard Rock Cafe to see 3 Leagues to Rome, and I was setting up my gimbal on the bar because I needed like a flat surface so it can calibrate itself. I was doing that, and there was a couple beside me, and they were just kind of making small talk, asking me what I was doing and things, and I told them about the show and gave them a couple stickers and a card. And the guy says, "Have you heard of a band called Inthewhale?" I was like, "I don't think so." I was like, "Maybe, but I don't. Doesn't ring a bell right now." And he goes, "You should have them on for sure. They're really good." I was like, "Okay." He's like, "No, go ahead and send them a message." I was like, "Oh, all right." I mean, I'm calibrating so I had to take my phone off the gimbal to be able to message you. So sacrifices,
That sounds like an Inthewhale fan for sure. Just like
yeah,
do it now.
Yes, do it right now because you're not gonna remember and you probably won't do it. But,
right.
But I was like, yeah, yeah. He goes, "Well, go ahead." I was like he's waiting for me to take it off of the gimbal that I'm trying to calibrate to get because the show's starting. Okay, so yeah. So awesome. So I did, and he says, put my name in there and tell them that you're sitting next to me at the Hard Rock and that they should be on the show. So I did that, and we were just I just looked it up, the very first message that I'd sent to you. Dave Fenton is his name.
Yep. Yeah. Awesome.
Him and his girlfriend or his wife, I don't know what they are, so I don't want to assume, but they were sitting at the bar next to me, and he is the one that says, "You must get Inthewhale on the show." And I have no idea how to tell him that you are on the show now because that's and I love the music. I listened to it the entire way home. The entire 2 hours back from Pittsburgh, I listened to your stuff. It was great. I was grooving,
awesome. That's awesome.
Welcome to Community Live. It's nice to have you on.
Thank you for having me.
Wait, I always kind of sometimes I start the show with the weather. So we're not supposed to have tornadoes in West Virginia, but there is a tornado watch until midnight. So if I just go away, I'll come back. I'll brush myself off, and I might be back on, just depending on the electricity situation. But there's thunderstorms moving in, but it doesn't say. It says not until after 9, so we're good for an hour, I think.
Awesome.
So do you get you get tornadoes out in Colorado?
We do on the Eastern Plains. I grew up on the Eastern Plains, so we had like probably three or so tornadoes a year. They were never big, but we're so close to Oklahoma that they would get big and move.
They push them
out.
into your state, don't they? Oklahoma, they just push them over. They're like,
No, we push them into them. Like we
Yeah.
start from the mountains and go over.
yeah.
So yeah, every once in a while. I mean, up in Denver, since I've lived up in Denver, I don't think I've ever heard of a tornado coming or touching down.
I know it snows there a lot. I've never been to Denver, but I had a cousin that they actually eloped, not to Denver, but they were already living in Denver, and they had their elopement there, and they lived there for about a year, maybe two.
Okay.
And then there's a band from Pittsburgh that I love called Colony Collapse that actually they moved from Pittsburgh to Denver, and they're doing it out there now, and they're doing really well.
Really?
Called
That's
Colony
hard.
Collapse.
I usually hear a lot of bands. It's like a new LA in a way, where it's.
I hear it's nice out there. Yeah.
Difficult to break into a scene in Denver, is what I've been told.
It's big for breweries. I know my cousin was telling me about the breweries out there. I'm not big into those IPA things, but I hear that's
They're
a big
everywhere.
deal. Yeah. What's now? I was looking up when I was looking up something for the landmark part. I came across a monument for the Denver omelet. And I didn't even think of that. Like, you go to any restaurant, they have the Denver omelet on the menu.
Right.
But there's an actual monument in Denver for the Denver omelet. Like, it's just like a circular, what you would think an omelet monument would be.
I lived here and I didn't even know that existed. Like, I had no idea that even.
You must go there and take a picture.
I guess I have to now, right?
What do you mean you haven't been to the omelet monument? I can't even say it. Omelet monument? It's just a strange.
Like, what a goofy thing to have.
Well, I know in Chicago they have the kissing rock of the Obamas. So I mean, you could always go there.
But like more to point, like it would be like going to Chicago and having like a brick pizza, like a statue of a pizza.
Well, they do have a shit fountain. They have a shit fountain and it actually says shit fountain engraved on it. It's actually a pile of shit and it's a fountain in Chicago.
Awesome. You also have the bean there, right?
The bean is there, yes. What's it like? Supposed to be what is it? I know what you're talking about, but it's gigantic.
Yeah, it's just a big glass bean.
Bean, yeah.
That's where they put Lollapalooza every year.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
it's in that park.
Now I got stuck on the Red Rocks website last night.
Oh yeah, right.
Because I was Google Earthing and I was floating around Denver and looking at things and I just get stuck on there and then I landed at Red Rocks and I was like, oh yes, I got to see who's coming up. The freaking concerts there just look amazing. Like, I mean, the lineups are just nuts. Like, people that never tour like together are playing at Red Rocks all the time. And it's. Have you guys played there? Please tell me you played there.
We played there one time. Yeah. It was crazy.
I bet.
It's something about being outside in the cool air and then just being able to see. I think it's like 9,000 to 10,000 people is the capacity. Yeah. And just hearing. And it's just that crazy.
Just the natural sound, I guess, of the rock formations and just natural stuff. But that's the view. I guess there's a view. I guess it'd be behind the stage then, right?
Yeah. So if you're about a little bit up past the sound or the sound booth, for where the mixing is happening,
right?
A little bit above, you can see over the stage, and you can see Denver and. You can see storms going across the plains and gorgeous. It's
tornadoes and stuff, destruction and
everything. It's honestly one of the best. Like I've been lucky enough to play just about everywhere, and we played a castle in Poland. We've done like weird stuff where we played Lollapalooza, we've played Austin City Limits, but there's nothing like Red Rocks.
Now Austin City Limits, that I did see that in your bio somewhere. I don't know, it might be the one that you sent me, but. That's very unique, I guess, because it's not really as I used to watch it all the time. I don't
they do a live one and then they do the recorded one, so there's like two different.
I don't even watch TV anymore. I canceled my Dish Network and everything. I don't watch. I use my TV as my monitor in the living room. So
yeah,
but I assume you can watch it online though, right?
I think you can. I'm not 100% privy to understanding like how and what. Everyone does Austin City Limits. I know that at one time you had to like buy a ticket. It was like a pay-per-view kind of.
I'd do that though. I mean, heck, that supports stuff,
Yeah, and we played their little festival that they had in Texas, and it was awesome. I think we played the year that Paul McCartney was playing.
Really?
Like he was the main act on the main stage, and just little old Inthewhale, just like, hey, let's play music.
Who did you play with at Red Rocks? Did you have the headline?
No, we were opening, and it was just like a little festival thing that they do.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So it was early in the day, normal kind of like opening band slot.
Yeah. That's
Still
still
cool.
but the experience of that though. I mean, I would play there anytime that they asked me to play there. If it was 3 a.m, I would play it. Damn it, with nobody there.
Right.
Like
if you were at EDM, you'd be a headliner at 3 a.m.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, and I saw Tiesto was going to be there. I think at the end of sometime this summer. I mean, I was almost to September in the calendar, reading every single.
That's awesome,
act.
isn't it?
And there's like every act has like 2 nights. If they're big, if they're huge, they'll have 2 nights.
Some people in Colorado will go to a show at Red Rocks. They don't even know what the band is, but the experience of being out
to go
and seeing people, like if it's a genre, like if it's folk or even if it's hard rock or something, people are like, I just bought a ticket. I don't even know what it is, because it's like, so that's why you can do like these multiple nights. Some of these bands, will play to a couple thousand people normally or whatever, and then play 2 nights to 10,000 people,
sell out both times. Yeah.
Right. It's an experience. It's like, if you ever get the opportunity, I would say jump on it.
Well, I don't know too much about you, obviously, but tell me a little bit about Inthewhale and how this got going and things like that.
How far back do you want to go?
I don't know. I mean, it's I'll leave that up to you.
All right, Eric and I, the drummer's name is Eric. My name's Nate. We met in Greeley, Colorado, and we were going to college there. It was a small scene. Eric and I were in 2 different bands, but we were kind of like, during the time when we started, like that big they call it the stomp clap, like Mumford and Sons and like the Lumineers and like all this folk music, so to speak. Yeah. Everyone's like, oh, this is the stuff. And Eric and I would go to shows and watch it, and we would just be bored out of our skull, and we're like, this sucks. Yeah. So everyone's doing that. Let's make a band not like that at all, So we decided to kind of like chase our like alternative rock roots and our nu metal roots. And Eric used to be a death metal singer, so he screams and stuff like that and plays drums at the same time.
That's awesome.
So we just kind of like kind of got our chops going in Greeley and figured out like what exactly it is that we do and why we do it. And then moved to Denver and just kind of like really just kind of pissed a bunch of people off by playing it all the time and just showing up at parties and like
just breaking it out
parties. And
you got to do that, I guess. If you want to get yourself out there, you got to be the a-hole sometimes,
Yeah, we did that. I mean, we were kind of like jerks, but a little bit like super tenacious about like making sure our name was everywhere on a poster, at least somewhere in town, and got a decent following in Colorado. But we didn't want to do what a lot of Colorado artists do, where they would. Colorado's an island. If you've toured ever, it's a freaking island. The nearest big city, like 8 hours, 6 hours, I guess, to Santa Fe, or 9 hours to Omaha.
Jesus.
Or 9
middle of nowhere.
To Lincoln. Salt Lake City is 12 hours. And these are the big cities around Colorado. So
not really that much in between. Towns, but just
what that does is a lot of the local bands will go and just like, we're king shit of Colorado.
Yeah.
And then you go to Kansas and nobody gives a crap, Mm-hmm. So we decided early on to take the same tenacity that we did with Colorado or with Denver and just start touring as much as possible. Our very first tour was with the presidency of the United States of America on the East Coast.
That's awesome.
How weird is that? What a weird.
Hell yeah. How were they? Were they nice?
Chris was awesome. The drummer, I forget his name, and they had another guitar player, but they were awesome. They were so awesome. We learned a lot of how to tour from them. We learned how to be prompt. We learned how to.
Did you learn how to be lump?
Yeah,
Sorry.
lumpy lump. We learned how to load in efficiently and take the most advantage of your sound check and do all these things, and like, what does merchandise look like even, and how, all these things. So it was a lot of learning, but like I was saying, the tenacity of just like touring, and because of that tenacity, we made a name for ourselves as kind of road warriors. I mean, we're not so much anymore. COVID kind of stopped that. I mean,
yeah, it did for everybody, I think.
it was kind of really difficult.
It fucked everything up for everybody.
Yeah, I mean,
in some way,
It's crazy to go though from like 180, almost 200 shows a year to going to zero. And then trying to learn how to be a normal person that isn't like living out of a suitcase or
right.
It's like really hard. That was really hard. That was really hard. Like it was almost like we had to talk to our people that are friends that are touring. They're like, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm like, going crazy. I don't even know what to do.
Yeah.
So
yeah. That's why I wanted to. That's when I started keeping me alive, was during the quarantine crap, because I just I would go. I would play maybe 2 or 3 open mics a night, or a week through the week, and just to get out and play something. I mean, I was playing 90s covers, which was, I guess, okay for somebody, but I did that, and all of a sudden I couldn't do that, and then I couldn't even go see a show, of anybody. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try to do that idea that I had a long time ago, was just interview bands. I mean, I would do it sometimes, but like not like in this capacity, just like right there, and when they're not really available, they're tired because they just got off the freaking stage, they don't want to talk to anybody, things like that.
Hard.
So I experimented over the years about ways I could do it, and I was like, this would be the best time, because they're not doing anything, they're available, and they want to stay connected somehow. They just don't know how, they don't know how. So that's when I started doing this, and it kind of, once everything started to open up, I thought I was done, but people were asking me, well, who's on the next show? And I was like, I don't know. Like, that was episode like 10 or 11. I was like, I don't have anybody playing, because I thought we were done with this,
You open a can of worms and it just keeps going, huh?
262.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I want to circle back. What are 90s covers you would do?
Oh, I did. Well, I mean, I kind of went into like, I started with like Hootie.
Okay.
The easy G, C, and D songs.
Sure.
I started diving into like songs that people don't usually do on acoustic guitar and sing by themselves, like Chevelle, and cool. Like Chili Peppers, and not really not make them funky. Like some people will do like No Diggity on, and that's cool. I never did that. It wasn't that kind of scene, really. Hey, everybody get up and diggity or whatever. No, it wasn't like that.
It's such a stylistic way of like playing like hard rock onto acoustic that you're just like, there's an easy, I would say a low hanging fruit kind of way to do it, and then there's a way that's like a little cheese dick, and then the other way is just like making it yourself. It's hard to do, honestly.
Here was my last. I still have it on here. I did. I Get It by Chevelle. Okay. I did Deep Blue Something, Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Cool.
The Kill by 30 Seconds to Mars.
Okay.
Sometimes I would do One Headlight by the Wallflowers.
Oh, I like that song a lot.
Pretty much every time I would do 1979 by the Pumpkins, because I just love that song.
Checked out 19.
Yeah, but I would always be like, I forgot to bring my nose clip tonight, so.
Right.
And then
such a cool kids, never.
Yeah, it's a great song,
It's a great song. I mean, I know there's a lot of hate for Billy Corgan, and I've met him once, and he was always genuine and nice to me, but I know that guy can write a song, man. He knows how to write.
He's a great musician. He really is. He did it. He's doing the thing, That's
I mean, when you know how to do it, it's like
you might as well do it. Yeah, you're wasting yourself. You're wasting your talent if you're not, Gin Blossoms, remember them? I did Hey Jealousy. Hey Jealousy.
I'm waiting for you to go and do Better Than Ezra. Is it good?
Oh, I did that one. Was it that one I did? Was it good? Yeah. I think I practiced that one. I was like, this sucks. I'm not doing this.
Or the Verb Pipe.
The Freshman.
I was young and knew it. Freshman.
The Freshman. That song, I can play it, but like the way he sings, I don't think he's playing when he sings it, because you know how some songs I can't play and sing because the rhythms are off. Like, you know, I just maybe I should apply myself and practice, but I don't, you know, I don't do that. I do have to mention this one because my buddy Rob that plays guitar in Deviant Cause that we do now, he hates the song, and he actually I got him to come out and play drums with me on an open mic one time when I was, you know, playing. And it's Fuel, it's Shimmer by Fuel. And he hates that song, but it's so much fun to play. Like, I love playing that song, yeah. But he hates it. He
doesn't like Fuel, or he doesn't like that song.
He doesn't like anything about Fuel or that song. Everything around that. Yeah, everything around that he hates.
Oh, which stance? Yeah. All right, respect. I mean,
everybody to their own, but you know, it's, you know, and I mean, I've always wanted to do, like, Perfect Circle's my favorite band, so I've always wanted to do something, but it's just so difficult. I've sat.
There's also the two really good guitar players in that band, so you're like,
yeah,
like Billy Howell.
Howardell, yeah.
I saw him when he came through solo.
How is he? He seems like a cool dude.
He is a very interesting guitar player.
Yes, yeah.
I never met him, but like definitely like there's things that, like, you know, as a guitar player or a musician or something, you watch people and you're almost like kind of stealing what they're
like, oh, I like that idea, like, I'm going to do that, or I like that sound, that's a cool pedal.
Right. So like, you know, we talked about Billy Corgan, and there's things that he does that you're just like, oh, that's cool, like to go up to that ninth or whatever he does.
Yeah.
And then with Billy, it's Howardell.
Howardell, like Howard, yeah, Howardell.
When I watch him, there's just certain things that just like you're trying to understand. Like, I would never go to that, or whatever, and you're just like, I don't know. It just, if it challenges you, I mean, that's something that really draws me in. You know.
Exactly. Yeah, I love their stuff. Anything Maynard other than Pussifer, I don't really get into because it's not really my style playing wise. But like listening, yeah, hell yeah, I'll listen to that shit all day long. You know, like, that's great. Yeah. You know.
Have you ever been to Maynard's? He has a winery.
I haven't been to the winery, but it used to be called, I can't remember what it used to be called, but it's called Sonic Temple Festival in Columbus. But it used to be called something else. But when it was the other name, I went and it was Perfect Circle on Friday and Tool played on Sunday. And then, you know, everybody else in between, Code Orange and freaking everybody. But he had a wine garden set up at the festival. And it was like $15 for a glass that had a tasting in it, but it was great of his wine. Yeah. And it was just like a little wine garden. They had like partitions set up, so like you were actually sitting in a little Maynard cafe thing. You know, it was pretty cool. It was good. Have you had his wine?
We've been to his wine vineyard or winery twice.
Yeah, you've been to it. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a perk of being able to tour and just being with the two of us. You know, it's easy to, like, we don't have a tour bus to go and lug up the mountain. We can go and just go ourselves. And
you drive a Subaru?
We drive a Chevy Express van.
Oh, yeah. I guess you would have to have a van with the things, you know.
Yeah, it actually looks just like.
Is it white? Oh, you have a model of it. Did they give you that to you when you purchased it?
No, I used to work at a mortuary. I grew up in a mortuary.
What? Well, okay, wait. This is a whole other conversation. This is awesome.
This was the van that I drove at the mortuary with caskets and loved ones in.
Oh.
And I bought it from the mortuary when they were going to retire it. So it has 450 or 80,000 miles on it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like different kind of spirits of 480,000.
Oh, no. I don't know. I don't know how many people actually moved. But yeah, I grew up in a mortuary in a small town. My grandfather owned it. I would help him.
That's creepy as shit.
People and run the services and stuff, and then
so kind of like My Girl, like the movie My Girl. It's kind of like that.
I don't know that. What is that?
What? Come on,
My Girl.
Seriously, what year were you born?
86.
Yeah, you should still know it. Look up My Girl. It's got Macaulay Culkin in it when he was like before. No, I think it was after Home Alone. Anyway, but yeah, look it up. Like basically her dad's a funeral director guy, and they basically live in the funeral home.
Yeah, most buildings on the East Coast and mostly an East Coast thing. You would live above the funeral home.
So you grew up living above dead people?
No, we were in Colorado, so it was a separate building. But
okay, but still, you were still close to them, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, decently gross. Yeah.
did you ever watch the process of like embalming?
Oh, so many times. Yeah.
That's creepy. I don't know. I can't. Ugh. I just can't do that. Mm-mm. I guess it's different if you're around it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, if
people
for
actually do
somebody
that.
that's like, yeah, you see it all the time. Like I grew up in Los Animas, and we had a funeral home there. Went to college, met Eric, came to Denver during the time we weren't touring. I went and hired on to a separate funeral home. That was somebody that was owned by Dignity Memorial. They run Crown Hill. It's a very large funeral home here in Colorado.
Okay.
And I worked for them, and I did part-time work with the Denver County Coroner. So I'd go to homicide scenes
Oh man.
and do
like
removals.
removals. Removals.
It's removing somebody.
Yeah, I guess that's. I did see when I was exploring Denver last night. There's a was it Cheeseman Park?
Yeah, big cheese.
You know the past of that. What's buried under that park?
I'm not exactly sure. No.
If you're in that mortuary thing, that would be a good thing to know. Like, go to atlasobscura.com.
Oh yeah.
And I can't remember it right now where I would say it, but yeah, it's there's about 3,000 bodies underneath that park buried.
Nice.
But it'll tell you the like the history of why. But what was very I guess disturbing about reading. Let me see if I can. It's keep going. It's on down here. Like it's crazy what. Okay, here it is. So like when Denver started, being created, when people started settling there and things like back in when was it, like the 1858, something like that. They wanted to build a cemetery and they called it Mount Prospect, which is Cheeseman Park, and they wanted to divide it into sections. So like the burglars and the people that lower into society were on one side, the rich people on the other side, and then everybody else in the middle. Basically, is how they wanted to set this up. 320 acres of cemetery.
That's still how cemeteries are kind of set up.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. But so I guess it just kind of the city ended up getting it, and I mean, there's the whole story's on here, but
they just made a part.
They wanted to when the city got it, they wanted to completely. They wanted to take the cemetery out and kind of clean up the space and make it whatever. And so they contracted it out, but the contract, the lowest bidder, it says the lowest bidder was awarded a contract to remove more than 5,000 dead bodies that had gone forgotten and unclaimed. But the contract only required that 3.5-foot long boxes were to be used to transport the bodies.
Oh, wow.
So people went out to watch.
Above that.
People went out to watch. Reporters were out there to watch. They watched as they chopped up the dead that didn't really, fully decay properly, and they shoveled them into the crates at Cheeseman Park. Very nice park in Denver.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
How many was it? Yeah, it was. And of course, people reported, weird things happening in their homes that lived around the place, and they let's see, 1893, they stopped the removal of the bodies, and then it says over time the holes were filled, and the rest of the bodies were forgotten. To this day, it is estimated that there are as many as 2,000 to 3,000 bodies still under the park. I'm good.
Wow.
You ever been there? You ever walk your dog there or hang out?
Many times I've been there.
And little did you know that.
I mean, if we think about it really, really hard, everywhere you go, there's pretty close to somebody
there's a trace of something under there. Yes. Yeah. That's kind of,
I think the part that's a little like lowbrow of them damaging the corpses is upsetting for sure.
Well, I mean, who thought that you could only take the bodies out in 3.5-foot long crates? That's it. Like, who thought of why did they make that?
Even so, when we have somebody that is very long or very tall and they don't necessarily fit in the length. You just cross their legs.
Oh,
it happens all the time.
Did the
My
bones,
grandfather was
like,
7 foot tall. We had to cross his legs.
do the bones crack when you do that?
No, I mean
you have to like break them so they. I'm just very curious about this. All of a sudden,
no breaking, nothing like.
It's not like they feel it anyway.
Dignity of
it's not like they feel it though, so it's good. You're good. God, that's awful. I don't know. It's just the whole thing of just bodies, and I can't. I have a couple of friends that are paranormal investigators.
Oh,
so
cool.
There's yeah. Well, it is, but I cannot watch his episodes at night. Like there's a new one out, and I only remember that there's a new one out at nighttime, and I'm not going to watch it at night. I just can't do it. I can't. It's freaky. You know.
I love that stuff. I have so many good ghost stories. If you ever get it,
I'll have to plug him then. It's Spirit Walk Paranormal on YouTube. Spirit Walk Paranormal. His name's Danny. He's really cool. Really cool guy. Hey, let's go ahead and listen to one of your songs. Let's get out. Let's get away from the ghosts for a minute. Let me gather myself and the dead bodies and everything we were talking about. That's interesting, though. I guess it would be interesting after a while. You know, if I could get through the whole thing that, okay, there's a dead body right here. I guess you don't really think of it that way when you're actually doing a job, and you know, especially like at a homicide scene. That's freaking crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes it's not like a person because it's
just anyway. Well, I guess since we're on this topic, we'll listen to Pins and Needles. Pins and Needles would be good. That's a good transition, right? Pins and Needles. What's this song about? Tell us a little bit about it.
It's about how during COVID there was so much that people were relying on media, both from social media or just from like the news and stuff, and it just felt like a lot of it was kind of fear. Like they were fear dealing, and it was misinformed from both sides. It's not a political thing. It's just like it just seemed like you're just saying stuff to get a rise, and then just you take it back 5 minutes later, and it's just like you're just all gas, no, and then brakes, all gas and brakes, and it just felt like very like we're on edge. What's going on? Why are you making us like this? It was kind of like they were getting, in a way, off on it. Like they were getting pleasure off of seeing everybody squirming, and kind of about. I didn't like that.
Yeah, I don't think none of us did. None of us did. Hopefully that doesn't happen ever again in our lifetime, I guess. Yeah, but here is Inthewhale with Pins and Needles. Check out.
Like this easy!
That's terrific.
Thank you.
Yes. I came across something on the Obscura site. There's a mortuary that's actually now an eatery called the Linger Eatery. Have you been there?
I worked there. I worked when it was when Ollinger. So
yeah, I was reading.
I had mentioned before Ollinger, Olinger. They just unlight the O and it's Linger. Now it's a restaurant. I've eaten there and worked there.
Did you work there when it was a restaurant also?
No, so when they sold the building and then the restaurant took over.
Oh, okay.
So there was never dead bodies and food.
Not mixing together.
No, yeah. Ollinger is that was awesome. The company I worked for.
It says that Buffalo Bill's remains were there, or said to be there. I guess.
Oh, really?
Legend has it. It says once a mortuary. Yeah. Once a mortuary that held the remains of Buffalo Bill.
Oh wow! I didn't actually realize that.
That's kind of cool. There's a lot of cool places in Denver that I've noticed, though. You know, there, of course, Red Rocks and all that, but I mean, there's a lot of things, you know.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole like ghost tour. It's not as big as like New Orleans or something like that, but there's also like some of the old buildings that used to be like brothels and things like that. Where I mean, a lot of like old gunslingers would come to Colorado because they would get emphysema, and their doctors were like, "You have to go to a dry climate," and so everyone would end up in like Doc Holliday and all those guys used to, you know, be here.
Up there. Yeah. That's
dry.
Crazy.
Very dry.
Very dry. And very high also because of the mile high. Everything's mile high this, mile high that, but people don't understand. It's just the elevation of the city is a mile higher than the sea is, basically, right? Or something like that?
Yeah, we're high, but it's like we're not even close to like Flagstaff, Arizona, which is like super high. It's
really?
Like double. Like it's so like look up its elevation.
Okay.
Right now, actually. But it blew my mind the first time like we toured there. I'm like, I can't breathe.
Like I'm used to this, but like this is definitely 2 miles for sure. Let's see. Yeah. Are you looking it up? I won't look it up.
Yeah, Flagstaff, Arizona is 7,000 feet, and we're 5,200.
That's significantly higher than yes.
Yeah, it's quite a bit more, but you're like,
you wouldn't think that Flagstaff would be that. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, Arizona, man.
When the hell are you guys coming back? I know that you guys have some things coming up, but when are you coming back this way where I can? I mean, I travel quite a bit, but you know, I can't travel to the like Vegas and shit yet. And I could.
Right, you're on the East Coast, right? So
yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm in West Virginia, but like Pittsburgh's the closest. But you know, there's Columbus, there's DC, even's close. I would prefer Baltimore, but you know,
we're not going to be on.
I even traveled like Charlotte. I traveled to Charlotte a lot. You know.
Yeah, I love the East Coast. Like I love like the Black Cat and DC and like.
You should come back then. Come back definitely.
Well, here's the problem. My wife and I just had a baby, so it's,
oh yeah, you mentioned that.
So he is 5 months.
He can come. That's fine.
Right? Yeah, I know. I'm like, let's go. He's 5 months old right now, so this year is kind of like if you look at our calendar, it's like a few dates.
Yeah.
A few dates because. My wife's a work from home architect, and I am just a like teenage dirtbag. So, like, thankfully, when he was born, I left for 2 weeks and we did a UK tour, and then it's like I've been back basically and just kind of holding the fort down. And
you have another one coming up, a UK tour, a UK tour, right? Or
we don't yet, but we're hoping to. We just got offered something that I don't think we can do.
Man.
I know.
But you want to.
Yeah, well, I mean,
everybody wants to do things that they can't do.
That's right. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
you shouldn't do. Like it's not the best idea.
Yeah, it's not a good time, but there will be times. Well, yeah, do what you have to do with family, and you know that's yes, your son is too young to go on tour. But as soon as he turns 1, it's time to get back on the bus or back in the van and head east. Head east and play several dates. I will come to most of them. And yeah, I would love to see.
We love playing Boston. We haven't been back to Boston.
I've never even been to Boston. I've never really been to the Northeast. I've been to Niagara Falls, but it doesn't really count. You know, it's just Niagara Falls.
Oh man,
But
we don't really like Philadelphia is a hard city for us. New York is good.
how about Pittsburgh? Have you played? You played Pittsburgh though, right?
Yeah, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's okay. We've played Atlantic City. Pennsylvania, like my mom's side of the family is from Pennsylvania.
Well, come to West Virginia then if you don't like Pennsylvania. Just come to West Virginia. We're just south
Where
of
do
there.
you play in West Virginia though?
Oh, there's legendary places. Legendary places. There's two good ones that I don't make any money by promoting these places, but I do anyway because they're badass.
Right.
123 Pleasant Street in Morgantown, which is the northern part. It's about an hour and a half from Pittsburgh, south, and the Chili Peppers played there when they first got started. They played there a couple times, I think. But it's a legendary spot. I mean, that's the spot to play.
How far is Richmond from you?
Richmond is that's in Virginia, so
Yeah,
that's probably a good 4 hours. I'd say 3 or 4 hours.
Oh, is it really? Okay.
It's drivable though. I mean, it's not a bad drive. I've been over there.
Pittsburgh, and then okay. I mean, you probably go to Cleveland and Columbus from time to time.
Yeah, I went to Cleveland twice last year. Youngstown's a good spot. I know it's a smaller place, but the West Side Bowl was there. It's actually a bowling alley, but right beside the bowling alley, there's a freaking concert stage. So like people are bowling, and then you look like I did like a panning thing with my camera. So I'm watching people bowl, and then all of a sudden I'm panning to the right, and there's like a freaking rock concert happening, and it's crazy.
Sounds like the Brooklyn Bowl. You ever done that? Or
I think I've heard of that place.
They got one in Vegas, and they've got one in New York, and we played there with Jane's Addiction in Vegas.
Oh hell, man!
It was
you know all the cool people.
We've been around a minute, like
man. But Jane's Addiction's my shit. That's my shit.
We get this story. So we were offered a show with Jane's Addiction in Denver.
Oh.
A very small club. There was like I say small, but it's small for them. It was like 1,500 people, right? It was already sold out, and they're just like, we need an opener. You guys, because you're just two of you, would you do it? And I'm like, yes, absolutely.
Fucking right. Yeah, really.
We'll play it. But we played the show, and we did so well. The tour manager's like, you know what? Can I curse on this? Is that all right?
Oh yeah, definitely. You can.
Yeah. His words, not mine. He's like, fuck all these local bands. You guys are gonna play with us the next 2 nights. We'll see you in Vegas. And I'm like, I guess I'm quitting my job.
Yeah, really. Yeah. I'm good. I'm good now.
That's what we did. Like we just kind of started driving through the night and made it to Vegas and played 2 nights at the Brooklyn Bowl with Jane's Addiction.
Did you hang out with him?
I got to meet Perry. I got to Stephen Perkins, the drummer, said some stuff like really kind and in passing.
Sure.
But there's a picture of me with Perry Farrell. He was very nice too. Yeah. Also, very kooky people.
Yeah, I would imagine they are. Yeah.
Oh, this is an interesting story. So we were doing sound check, but before our sound check, Dave Navarro, he was really into where they put the hooks through your skin.
Oh yeah.
So he had hooks through his back, and he was hoisted up.
Oh, no.
It was closed. There's nobody there, and they were like doing this with his feet and just like flailing him, and he had his guitar playing with these hooks like on.
Jesus.
And I remember thinking, I'm never going to see this
ever again
in any way, shape, or form, ever.
That's nuts. He was just doing it just to do it, so it wasn't like a part.
It was like he likes to do that, I guess. It's like because during the show they had it was for the Nothing Shocking record, right?
Yeah.
So, they had women, on the hook things on either side of the stage during the show. So it's like it's part of the shtick,
That's you'll never ever see that ever again, or even anything like that. Probably that's just.
I swear, my mom.
Unless you're at a circus, you could. Yeah, I was getting ready to ask you, some questions about the best of this or the worst of this, but like you're feeling like I don't even have to ask you a question like that. That's probably is that the greatest tour story you have, or is there one that tops that? I don't know. I don't know if you could top that one. That's pretty damn.
It's pretty interesting. Like there's a lot of cool stories. Like
how about like a story that just involves the two of you band wise? Like what's the best thing that's happened on the road, or I guess in the band? in the band? To date,
I
to date.
mean, a fun, interest. We were playing Sacramento once, and we got done playing the show, and our friend Nate was like, "Hey, you guys are awesome." He's a friend of ours now, and he's like, "Come with me to this bar." I'm like, after the show, and I'm like, "Okay, sure, whatever."
Yeah.
Sacramento, what else are you gonna, do? We show up, and like all the guys from the Deftones are there because that's where they're
What?
from. And he's like, "Let's just hang out and drink whiskey and listen to vinyl records with the Deftones." It's like,
Okay.
oh,
Yeah.
Um,
How was Chino? Did you meet him?
and Chino wasn't there, but it was like the rest of the guys, Frank and.
What's the point then? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's not. I'm a Deftones fan. Yes. Okay. Go on.
I'm trying to think of other, like, the President of the United States was awesome.
Yeah.
Like we've been able to meet a lot of cool. Like we were walking Sunset Strip and ran into Chris Cornell,
Oh man.
Tom Morello,
Jeez.
because of Tom Morello, the bass player for Rage Against the Machine. What's his name?
Flea? No, that's Chili Peppers. What?
No,
Hey,
yeah,
Rob,
I forget
Robert's
his
got it.
name, but he also has a band, so they were there supporting him at the Viper Room. And we
Okay.
were just like, oh, okay, weird, okay, what's up?
It's almost like did those people just walk by? Like because like that's a pretty good group of people to walk
Yeah,
past,
pretty extreme
Just-
like moment to like, oh, okay, that's weird.
Rob,
okay.
what's here's the you say guitar player of Rage or bass player of Rage, right?
Bass player.
Who's
I
the
forget his
bass player
name.
of Rage? Do you remember? I can't remember.
Brandon?
Hold on. Yeah, let's. That's worth a Google. Tim Comerford?
Is that right?
Yeah. Well, according to Google, it is.
Oh,
It's,
really?
let's see. Bassist, yeah, Tim Comerford. Comerford,
Okay, yeah, I would believe it. I don't know.
I guess.
I couldn't remember, but his band was playing at the Whiskey, and that's the reason they were there.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's him. That's a picture of him. That's definitely him. Man, these guys are older than I thought they were. Tim was born in 1968. Old
He's up there.
bastards. Yeah, that's So okay, what's the what would be the worst? I hate to ask this, but what's the worst story, or the worst thing that's ever happened? I mean, I'm not talking about like people dying and things, but like I guess within the band, just the two of you. What's the worst thing? What was the worst experience you had? I guess if you would like to share.
Yeah, we were touring the Europe for the very first time, and we were very ill-equipped for the whole experience. There was a lot of things that we should have done. Like we should have rented from this one place, but we didn't, and we had to get a driver, which we for only half like of the shows because you couldn't take this one car from the airport into these places. Things we didn't know, like just
Yeah.
we were there for a full month. We were there in Germany, Poland, the Czech Republic. It was like the Netherlands. Like we were France. Like we were everywhere for a month. And we've never bailed on shows ever. And we've never had to cancel shows except one time when my dad was a flight for life situation, and I'm like, I have to go home. Like
Yeah, for sure.
for the most part, we've always been just like rock hard, super steady, but we were in Europe, and we were just like at one point we're like halfway through like a string of like 4 bad shows in a row, not because of playing wise, we played fine, but it was just like fatigue, and then playing with really bad bands, or like the show was not promoted, or it was whatever, 4 of those in a row, and we're just like, man, fuck this, should we just go home?
Yeah.
It really wears on you after a bit, and there's nobody else to blame. It's just the 2 of you, right? So like we don't bring usually anyone with us, Some of the bigger US tours will bring like a merch person or something like that, but we always just self-contained, self whatever, we just rock steady, always got our stuff together. But it was like almost like a breaking point. It gets hard sometimes, with that many. We blew an engine in Reno, Nevada. We were on tour with Agent Orange.
Oh, nice.
And they let us ride in their van while ours got fixed. We did 2 months with them. Did the whole US, got to Texas. They dropped me off because we had 2 days. Took my ass to the airport and flew me to Reno. Our van was fixed. I paid them money. And I drove that fucker all the way down to Arizona to catch up and do the rest of the tour. We've done that. We've played San Francisco at like 11. Slept in the airport. Flew and played Riot Fest. And then flew back after our set in Riot Fest. And then drove to Southern California that night. And like, I think we played a show that night. Like we played 2 days. Which
one of you drives, or do you? I'm sure you take turns if it's long distance.
I 100% drive.
Oh, so he doesn't drive. He just doesn't.
No, and that was out of necessity. So early on, Eric had got, I want to believe it's a misdemeanor of some sort, where it was an infringement on his driving. So basically, what happened? He lived in Arizona for a moment. He got a speeding ticket or a parking ticket, and then left the state and moved to Colorado without paying it.
Oh, yeah, one of those.
Or something. And he just forgot is basically what it was. But they threw the book at him and made an example of him so that
I hate that.
So he couldn't drive for like the first 5 years of the band. So I did 100%
5 years
driving. And I just kept doing it. So but we exchanged things, like he's looking up hotels, he does the advancing, the shows. I do all the artwork and I write the songs, and then he does all the stuff where I don't want to deal with it. Like I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to show up, load the gear. He does.
But you're the one doing the interview right now, though. Like it's...
Well, I mean, he had things to do this evening too. So.
But, I would love to meet him. You guys need to definitely come to the East Coast. When you have time, when you get situated and things, when life takes you to that again or something, and it will, if you're that good, you're that used to touring, and you've done all those things. Yeah, there's no reason you shouldn't come to the East Coast. Damn it.
Yeah, I mean, we love the East Coast. It's been a minute. I mean,
Dave Fenton and I will be there front row to all of them.
There you go.
I will go on the road with him.
I'm trying to think
what do you
out there.
What do you say we listen to Waves?
Let's do it.
I feel kind of. Is it have anything to do with that?
No,
I didn't think so.
It's kind of just being absorbed by a feeling, mostly like a being happy, and like it's kind of like shoegazy song. So it's kind of like this big chorus, big.
I like your all sound. It's not all the same, but it is. It's kind of well rounded, and it's not. I don't know. I have a tough time sometimes explaining what people sound like. I never say who you sound like, because you sound like you. There's nobody that you. I'm sure there's influences. Maybe we'll talk about that after the song. But like, you sound like you. You sound like what Inthewhale should sound like.
Awesome.
And across the board, the songs that I've listened to over the ones that are released. They all sound the same, not like in a bad way, but like they sound, that's your sound.
Right.
It has your stuff. That's you. And, you I guess you could say the White Stripes. No, it doesn't sound. I don't think it sounds anything like the White Stripes.
Right.
Maybe like one part of one song somewhere, but I wouldn't be like, oh well, that's the White. No, it's not the White Stripes. It's not. It's Inthewhale.
Right.
It's original. That's what's so great about like I don't try to do the bigger bands, the ones that've made it already. They don't need me for anything. Like if anything, I would need them. But like I don't want. I welcome them, yes, but like I would rather listen to original things in different sounds. Like tomorrow night, Soleil or however you say it. Middle Eastern progressive rock. Yes, I want to know more about that shit. Like that. I've never heard of that before. But it's this is Inthewhale, and it's definitely Inthewhale. Like I don't know what else it could be. It's nothing that I've heard. It's great.
Awesome.
This is Waves by Inthewhale, and it's all one word. I don't know if case sensitive it needs to be happen when you type it in, but make sure it's all in the whale. And I think I only
have our names separate, but promoters pick up our names.
What is it?
We used to have our name as In the Whale, like, but they kept messing it up. It's like the Whale, the Whales, the Whalers, the
Whalers.
They fucked it up so bad, and over 10 years, and I'm like, that's it. One word. You have to spell it this way.
Yeah, that's hilarious. There is another band that, like, when I was looking on Instagram to put it on the story, there's a band called Whale.
Yep.
And it's terrible. I will never. I don't want to have them on the show, so that's why I'm speaking awful of them.
Can I tell you one story before we do this?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
so we were playing San Francisco, and we were playing the show, and we got done, and there was this nice group of just girls that came over, and they're like, "You're not Said the Whale at all. We bought tickets, but we liked what you did. We stayed, but you're not Said the Whale." And I'm like, case in point. Why we should change our stupid name. We have these lovely people. Thankfully, they're here, and they stayed, but they were not. Said the Whale's an acoustic folk stomp clap band.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
and we're like,
you're not that at all. Yeah,
no,
you're definitely not. You can stomp, and you can clap, but you ain't doing it like you're gonna. Yeah, we can do that's for us.
I'm gonna get some water while we play this song.
Yeah, do that. I want to talk about where Inthewhale name came from and some influences and stuff like that. So here is Waves by Inthewhale. You have to say it fast too.
Yeah, that's right.
Your
that's very shoegazy, but it's so good.
Awesome.
It's so good. These kids got something. I mean, yeah, obviously you do because the people.
I
I
had
was
a
telling.
good time recording that record. It was like during the end of COVID.
So you were ready to bring it out.
Yeah, we were sitting on it for a while. We had
Yeah.
all these demos, and thankfully we were able to work with Nick Raskulinecz, and I think it turned out great.
Remind me who he is.
Nick Raskulinecz has done the Foo Fighters. He's done. Oh, man, you put me on the spot. Hold on.
Plug it.
I'll tell you. Nick has worked with. Okay. All right. Foo Fighters, Stone Sour, Coheed and Cambria, Rush, Trivium, Alice in Chains, Deftones,
Goodness.
Evanescence, Deftones, Rush, Ghost, Alice in Chains, Mastodon,
Jesus.
Adelita's Way, Bush, Sleeping with Sirens, Korn, Rise Against,
My goodness.
10 Years, Mastodon, Alice in Chains, Korn,
How
Code
did you?
Orange, Evanescence.
How does one land a producer like that?
Our manager is very good and was able to we've worked with Nick Raskulinecz, we've worked with Steve Evetts, who's done like Poison the Well and done Snapcase and some of those more East Coast.
Man, I haven't heard Snapcase. I haven't heard that name for a long time. Rob, do you remember Snapcase? He might not, but I haven't heard that name in a long time. That brings back some memories.
Yeah, and then we've worked with Bill Stevenson, the drummer from the Descendents.
Yeah.
We've toured with the Descendents, but also worked with Bill. Those are I think the big ones that we've been lucky to work with. Blessed to work with.
That the band that I mentioned earlier that I went to see at Hard Rock, Three Legs to Rome. They recorded with Dave Hillis.
Oh,
he did Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains. I guess he's got a I don't know if he has a studio. Yeah, he has a home studio in Pittsburgh somewhere. But
cool.
when I was telling him about me and Rob playing music, and we're wanting to go to a studio when we're ready to take some stuff, and he goes, "Well, I can get a hold of Dave for you." I was like, "I don't think we have that kind of budget."
Right.
It's a little bit, but plus
there is something to be said. Like some of these guys that we've worked with are like very much cool with knowing our size and knowing well, this is what I would do, this is what I charge or something like that.
How was it working with somebody with that much, I guess, credit or that much, under his?
Yeah.
I don't know. How was that?
It's always great to work with someone that's just so good at their craft that you're just that's a great idea. Wow. That you heard that? That's cool. Wow, it always feels like there's just never stops creativity, when you're we have all these ideas and then it's help us craft these ideas into something digestible, and they're this and this and this and this and working through, and then yeah, it's just kind of you get so busy you forget that this person's super famous, or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, definitely. That I mean, I can't imagine working with somebody that's worked with all these great artists, and then why would he take time to do something for me? But I think that's
the idea is they believe in you send them the stuff, they have the choices say no.
Exactly.
So every time we're not a main radio rock band. We're kind of 90s kind of.
I don't even know what radio rock would be anymore, because I don't even listen to the radio. I don't know who does. I have XM in my truck, but I don't ever listen to it. I always listen to what I have already, on my phone. But I don't know anybody that really listens to the radio. I don't even know how they get their ratings. I mean, I'm sure, I guess people listen to the radio, but
there's still a huge community that does.
Yeah.
But we're not really. I don't know how to say it, but we're just not the we're not the thing. And we've been told this, but well, we don't have a label or anything. So like we've been told that by multiple people. We've had people fly out to see us and like, you guys are super cool.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with you. And it's just like, that's what it is.
But that keeps you independent also, and lets you do what
It's
you
hard
want.
though. It gets
Yeah.
hard. It's difficult at this point where it's like, well, what's the longevity of what do you want to be doing? Like we're like 13 years of band,
Well, I guess that would be
30.
the question, since we're kind of towards the end of the show here. What is well, I don't know if I want to dive into that. That's a heavy topic, I guess. But like, what's
Yeah.
next? What do you think is next for the band? Where are you guys wanting to be? We'll say the next 5 years. We'll give it.
I mean, next 5 years.
Okay, 2 years. I'm sorry, 2 years.
We usually go. Eric and I have always made a point that as a band, when we started, if we get it to a point where we plateau and we just don't keep growing, we'll gracefully on our own terms, like dismantle the band and
Kind of float away. Yeah.
We're kind of at a point where things are slowing down, but we're like also still moving. Like I'm leaving tomorrow to Vegas, so we always have shows. We have always things offered to us, but like the growth of the band and things like that are, well, it's like so subjective. It's like, how long do we want to be doing this? Like, well, who knows? It's like, as long as there's people to show up, I guess, we'll always be there.
As long as the energy's there and you're writing, and I guess
Right.
and you enjoy doing what you're doing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's where it comes down to. It's like, it is a business also, where at some point it's like finding the balance between like the fun of it, as like when you start, like, oh, well, if I'm just playing Colorado or just Denver shows, shit, we could play this forever. Who gives, who cares? But I'll tell you what, when it's $1,500 a person to fly to the UK, and then you're also dropping at least $1,000 in just gear, and then you paid $2,500 for the rental car, and then you paid another $2,000 for merchandise over there. I mean, we're at 7,000 just to get there. All right.
Yeah.
So there's some elements that like are kind of limits you on your ability and growth,
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I think
I don't know if I answered your question.
No, that's fine. No, I just love listening to that response. I don't ask that question too often, but like, because it is tough. I mean, nobody knows what. I guess it would be what the market is, or not the stock market, but just what the market is, what the music market is. What are people looking at, and what are the people looking for, and is our stuff going to be able to handle the whatever's going to be? Nobody really knows.
It's also it's a lot more difficult now to be. Everyone can get in front of you with the internet, right? And everyone can be seen, but it makes a lot of noise. And then some of the people that have been able to stand out, a lot of these artists that are on TikTok. I saw this one artist. I was like, oh, on TikTok. I'm like, awesome. It's got to translate. And I go to the show, and he bombed the same song 3 times in a row. He tried to do it 3 different times and just kept bombing. Like, oh, stop, start over, bomb. And like, I don't know, but he has like 3 million followers or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know.
He did one thing perfect one time.
I guess, right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know where the line is and what our future is, being a very much active live band.
That's you would think that, I don't think that's going to ever go away. That's something that's always going to be, I think, in my opinion, that's something that's always going to be, or needs to be available, is the actual.
It does need to be available, but we're not being looked at for anything new. Like, so what I'm saying is, like, all these bigger bands that are established, like Chevelle, they're going to take out this band because, they have X amount of followers. I think you froze. Can you see me okay? We have the storm.
We're getting that thunderstorm.
Yeah, I figured that's what it was.
I just switched to my hotspot though, so my internet definitely went. But I'm looking at the radar here, and it's upon us.
Oh yeah, there you are.
So I guess we can wrap up. But I would love to have you back, and we can keep talking about things. But it's healthy to talk about it. That's what the therapist says, I guess, right? Oh, it's still going in and out. Right. Is it still going in and out?
It's good to talk about it.
We might be screwed with this stupid Mother Nature thing.
Your internet is unstable, it says.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, well,
that's okay. We'll figure out another time when I get back from tour. Let's talk.
Let's do that. It's very nice to meet you.
Yeah, thank you.
I will talk to you probably on Instagram, here and there. I'll send you some stuff. I'd like to send you guys out some stuff. I just ordered a shirt and a poster from them.
Right.
I'll put your links up in the description when we get done, and so that way people can find you.
Awesome.
I'm afraid to lose you. That's why I'm talking very fast, because I don't want to lose it again.
Right.
Thank you all for watching. I will be back tomorrow night, hopefully thunderstorm free, with Soleo or however you say it, from Cleveland at 8 p.m. same time right here.
Thanks.
And I guess I'll try to play media on the way out, but it might be choppy. But yeah, thanks again, Nate. We'll talk to you soon, and definitely come back.
All right, take care.
See ya.